I guess a couple things that I would share about camp is, one, obviously it's a good time to get away with friends, to be away from mom and dad is always great. But as you grow older, you look back on those times and you realize the different things God taught you. And I look back on my life and some of the most major decisions I ever made for the Lord happened while I was at church camp.
All right. I think one of the most important things that I got out of camp was I learned that Christianity is more than just going to church every Sunday. It's a lifestyle. It's an everyday thing. That serving God is, that's what we need to be doing. Is every single day God should be in our lives. We need to apply every aspect of our life. God needs to be involved in it.
You get away from your friends, away from your surroundings, away from influences. You get away from everyday life, and you get into an environment that is absolutely just, you're inundated with the truth of God's Word and the music and sitting around the campfire, and you're just able to be really real about what's going on in your life. And it's a place where you can recognize your need for God.
I was thinking that I could live my life how I wanted to live my life and that I could just go to church and that was okay. But through speakers at camp, through being in the Word, just through being around Christians and just being poured into by my camp counselor, just different people at camp, it came clear to me that you can't live for the world and live for God. And I don't think I would have come to that realization if I hadn't gone to camp.
A lot of people talk about camp like it's a mysterious, miraculous thing. Like you just show up at camp and God does amazing things, which He does. But the real secret is the amount of time you're spending in the Word, around other believers, around adults who care about you, around kids who are believers, and just spending time in the Word. I think there's something to be said for in the morning having time with God, having chapels at night, having worship, and you do that on a consistent basis, and you're going to change. God's Word promises that if we're consistent and we're in it, that's going to change you. And so it's not a mystery. It's nothing that's crazy. There's no secret formula. It's you're at camp, you're in the Word, you have people holding you accountable, and amazing things happen. So that's what I learned at camp. It's good stuff.
Camp was an awesome experience for me. It really opened my eyes to what God wanted for me in my life, and it encouraged me to live my life the right way and not what the world is living. And it got me fired up to live for God and to show other people about His love. Okay.
The first time I got to go to camp, I was 38 years old. My kids were to the age where they were all ready to go to camp, and I was not going to let them go without me. I was leery, to say the least, when I got there, and on top of all of that, they made me a team leader. I find out at the very first meeting, which means they get to poke fun at you all week. I wasn't even really sold on youth groups, youth activities. I totally believed in the concept of he who walks with the wise will grow wise, but the companion of fools bring folly. And generally speaking, when a bunch of kids are hanging out, they're not really hanging out with the most, the wisest people. I saw youth workers that were passionate about their relationship with God and passionate about teenagers and making a difference in those individual teenagers' lives. I was sold ever since. I went to camp 3 years in a row, and most of my kids have gone to camp, and I've seen the huge difference and impact that has made, the life decisions that they've made by going to camp.
It didn't happen in youth group, didn't happen in big church. It happened at church camp. Decision to go to Bible college, decision to serve the Lord, decision to just commit my life to Him. All those things took place at church camp, and I think there's something to be said for being isolated, from being away from distractions, TV, internet, cell phone, all those different things they're not a part of camp. And I think that when those distractions are eliminated, that God has a chance to really speak to you. And those are some of the things I learned at camp.